Thank you for joining me for yet another unboxing video, and today we have a classic mystery game, Clue. This is the Scooby-Doo 50th anniversary game, brought to you by Hasbro. This game is for ages 8 plus, and it's for 2 to 6 players. Who doesn't love Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Crew? Who does not love that TV show? I've always loved it since I was a kid. And when my brother picked this up for my kids for Christmas, I was very excited to open the box and play the game with the kids because they do love Clue. They're getting to that age where before they didn't understand kind of the rules of Clue and what they were supposed to do. And now that they're seasoned veterans of playing board games, this was the perfect time they would introduce Clue into their lives. So Clue, the classic mystery game, of course, this is the Scooby-Doo version, and it's the 50th anniversary. Once again, ages 8 plus, and it's for 2 to 6 players. Clue, Scooby-Doo. Uh-oh. Mrs. White is experiencing a spell of abductions at her haunted mansion. In distress over this troubling situation, she has invited Scooby-Doo and the gang over to investigate. Always up for an exciting mystery, the friends dress up as their favorite Clue game characters and get right to solving the crime. But while everyone is working on the case, someone in the mansion is abducted by a monster. To win Clue Scooby-Doo, you must solve who was abducted, where, and what item did the monster leave behind. Of course, you got your 6 characters: Fred, Shaggy, Daphne, Mrs. White, Velma, and Scooby-Doo. Fred plays Mr. Green, Shaggy plays Professor Plum, Daphne plays Miss Scarlet, Miss White, Mrs. Peacock, and Colonel Mustard, which are all, obviously, beloved Clue characters from the original game. And then you got the 6 custom items, as always, which we'll check out in the box. This game, again, was brought to you by USopoly and Hasbro. For more information about this game, go to theop.games. This was released in 2019 by Hasbro. So let us crack this bad boy open and see what kind of goodness we have on the inside. Now, the first thing I noticed when we opened this game is, I don't know whether this was a mistake in packaging or they give you all these slots, and this is a game that doesn't need card slots. So I have no idea why this box looks as it does, or why they included this box for this game. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I don't know. So all right, so anyway, let's move on from that. So maybe that was a packaging error. I'm not quite sure if that's the way it's supposed to look inside. I don't know. Again, so we got ages 8 plus, 2 to 6 players, Clue, and of course this is the Scooby-Doo version, and it's the 50th anniversary game. So again, the rules, the object. Again, Mrs. White is experiencing a spell of abductions of her haunted mansion. In distress over this troubling situation, she has invited Scooby-Doo and the gang over to investigate. Always up for an exciting mystery, the friends dress up as their favorite Clue game characters and get right to solving the crime. To win, you must know, Scooby-Doo must solve who was abducted, where, and what evidence did the monster leave behind. There's a cast of people. There's your who's, there's your what, and there is your where's. You got your setup, which is like the general Clue game. Game rules explains that. How to win the game. If you're right, you've solved the mystery and won the game. If you are wrong, return the cards to the envelope without revealing them to other players. Now you may only answer questions. If you were all wrong, the game is lost, the monster is still out there, and abductions will continue to occur. So. Then we also have the personality cards, the question mark cards. If you land on a question mark, roll a question mark, or are moved into a location to be questioned, you may draw a question mark card. There are 2 of these types. There's Munchies and Monsters. And it tells you which type you grab. Over here, the 2-player or team rules, setup, gameplay. Everything else is the same as regular Clue, right? So, and there's your table of contents in the back there. Again, this game was released in 2019 by Hasbro. For more information, go to theop.games. And as you know, there are a plethora of different versions of Clue, from The Simpsons to Harry Potter to Batman, you name it, they have the Clue game for you. In case you don't want to purchase the Scooby-Doo game, everybody pretty much in their game collection at this point in time has the original Clue, so it's always fun to receive and play different versions of the game. And different from the original is the fact that they now have the question mark cards, and again, all the little tokens that you get are different as well. So that's always fun. So there are people who collect these games and like to have all the different types of game components. All right, we got some silica gel. We'll throw that over to the side. Now, of course, one of the most important parts of a Clue game is the board itself, which is always very, very cool. So let's take a look at this. It says here, we've got, start off here with the kitchen, secret passage to the conservatory. Down here, where the starting point for Daphne, you got the mystery machine parked outside. Again, on the board, you're seeing the question marks. So the question marks, again, you hit that, you roll the die to see if you get a question mark, or if you roll a die and you get a question mark, you pull a card. There's the courtyard, you got the lounge, you got the library, you get the center point. All right, so then again, I don't want to crack the board, so I'm just going to pull that up like this, and we're kind of go over this direction. You have the conservatory, you have the billiards room, you've got again the starting points for over here for Velma, starting point for Fred, you have Mrs. White where she's located, secret passage to the lounge, you have the graveyard, you have the ballroom, and you have the dining room. And the game is set up this way. The board is faced this way. And that's how it would look from top, from bottom. So top. So very cool. If you're a fan of Scooby-Doo, this game might be just for you. A poet and I didn't even know it. There you go. So we got our game board, we've got our rule book, we got our silica gel. Can't go anywhere without that. You have your packet here. Again, you grab your 3 cards, you stick them in here, you close them, you don't look at them at first. And then when someone thinks that they want to, this goes right to center point right there. And if a person thinks they know the answer, they pull this and they read the 3. And if you're incorrect, basically all you could do going forward is answer questions. You're basically out of the game. You have a pad with different choices. This is your scorecard, and it's also your clue card. So let's see what we got here. We got who? Scooby-Doo, Shaggy, Daphne, Velma, Fred, Mrs. White. What did they do? Funland Robot Ray Gun, Carlotta, the Gypsy Spellbook, Frankenstein's Monster Chain, Witch Doctor Staff, Ghost Clown's Bomb, Ghost of Redbeard's Sword. So these are your different items. So these are the, I guess you could say, the things they left behind, or in the original clue would be the murder weapons. Where? The courtyard, the kitchen, the dining room, the graveyard, the ballroom, conservatory, billiards room, library, lounge. So you can play 4 games with 1 sheet. And also you have lots and lots of sheets, and they are double-sided. So that's cool, and they easily, as you can tell, they just come right apart. So that's always cool. Very cool for that. Okay. And then you've got your standees. Now these standees were a little tricky. As you can tell, they are not the highest of quality. So as you could tell, that when I was putting these in, they did rip to some degree. So they did not fit properly into the stand. Some of them had no problems getting in whatsoever, but these 2 had a real difficult time. So as you can tell, they get a little muffed up and a little banged up on the bottom. But there they are right there. You got Daphne, you got Fred, you got the Scooby-Doo character. See, as you can tell, it went right in, no problems. You have Velma, Shaggy. And the way I would play the game is that the front facing would be this one, and the back would be, has the information on there. Okay. And of course, we go on, we also have Mrs. White, back and front. So those are your characters. We also have some cards. We have some regular game die. 2 of those. Again, with the game die, if you get the question mark, you get one of the question cards. But there you go. They're D6s. So the 1 has the question mark on we go. So you can move 9 spaces, 9 spaces, 9 spaces. That's 3 9s in a row. All right, so as you could tell, you're gonna be rolling there. And again, if the question mark comes up right there, you know what to do. So there you go, got those. And cool little baggie to keep that in. Oh, and you have your metal tokens as well, just like in every other Clue game. Of course, these are a little different. So this here, let me see, I gotta look here to see exactly what the titles of these are. So this is the Ghost Clown. Let's see, this could be, let's take a look if I can see this. All right, so first one we're gonna take a look at is Ghost of Redbeard's Sword. So that's one of those. That's very cool. Nice quality. Again, they're made out of metal. So that's very cool. Then we have Funland Robots ray gun. So that's the ray gun. Let me show the sword again real quick. That's what the sword looks like. Okay. Looks like the Gypsies spell book. It says spells and potions. Very cool. Actually, I'm going to put those over here. I'm going to put these in the gray area where you can see them a little better. And the ray gun. And this looks like to be the Witch Doctor's staff. That's cool. Again, these are all classic villains from the TV series, obviously. So that's always cool. The Witch Doctor's always the one that we see chasing them around. Then we've got, this is Frankenstein's Monster Chain. Frankenstein's Monster Chain right there. Okay, that's very, very cool. And last but not least, we have the Ghost, this is the Ghost Clown's Bomb. I thought it was a ball and chain, but no, it's a bomb. And it's hollow in there. It's got nice weight to it though. Nice weight. So we're just going to put that up on top there. So there's your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different weapons. And those are the what's. Okay. Put that back so we got that. And then we have our cards. So your 5 player cards, which is Fred playing as Mr. Green, Scooby-Doo is Colonel Mustard, Daphne is Miss Scarlet, again, Shaggy is Professor Plum, Mrs. White, and of course Velma as Miss Peacock. And as you can tell, you have the colors behind the blue, like the ones that they used to have in the game itself, the original game. So you got that. But what's different also about this is you flip it over. Each of them kind of has a special rule. So Fred, special rule. Once per game, you may start 2 rumors on the same turn. Flip this card over after you use your power. So yeah, it's a one-time use power, and that's Fred. Then we have Scooby-Doo. His extra power is once per game, you may move twice. Roll the dice, move, then roll again. Flip this card over after you're done using your power. So there you go. You got Daphne. Once per game, you may randomly pick a card to look at from someone you just showed a card to. Flip this card over after using your power. That's Daphne. Then you have Shaggy. Oh, you have Shaggy. Now again, these cards are a little bit thin. Once per game, you may move to any room that does not have a secret passage. Flip this card over after you use your power. Okay, so you have a secret passage when there is none. That's pretty cool as well. You have dear old Mrs. White. Oh. And you have once per game, you may look at a card that one player has just shown another player. Okay. And last but not least, you have Velma. Once per game, you may start a rumor using a room you are not in. The character in the rumor is moved to the room you name. Okay, so starting rumors. So then we have some purple cards, question cards. And we have some green Scooby-Doo thumbprint cards. So let us start with the green cards. Again, all the backs or fronts, depending on the way you want to look at it, are the same. So what we got here, Scooby-Doo. These are the cards that go into these are the ones you pick that go into your envelope. So again, who you're looking at, who is the guilty party? So there you go. That would be your one of the characters that would be under your who category. Then you would have your where did it take place? The ballroom, courtyard, kitchen, billiard room, dining room, the library, the conservatory, lounge, graveyard. And then last but not least, you have your other cards, which are your what, not what, but this is, yeah, the what's. So this is the staff that we talked about, the spell book we talked about, the sword we talked about, again, the chain from Frankenstein's monster, the bomb from the clown, and of course, the robot's ray gun. Okay, those would be the what did it, or in the old game would be the weapon that committed the murder. There you go. Because again, this game it's geared also more towards children, so they're not going to use the term murder with it. All right. And then last but not least, so again, you would shuffle these cards up, and then you take one of each of these, and then you would take that. Very simply put, you would go into here. You would shuffle them without looking at them, and you would put them. So you're not looking at them, put them right in the envelope there. And you put that inside here. And then as you go around, you're collecting clues on your card. And eventually you're going to choose, make a choice as to who you think done it. Who, what, and where, which is the object of the game. Again, so these are those cards right here again that you would use for that portion of the game. So that's your green set of cards right there. And last but not least, we have our question mark cards. Again, all the backs or fronts, depending on the way you look at it, are the same. And so we're going to take a look here. We got a monster card, Green Ghost. Monster, Funland Robot. Monster, Ghost of Redbeard. Monster, the Ghost Clown. Monster, Carlotta, the Gypsy. Monster, the Witch Doctor. Again, all classic characters from the Scooby-Doo franchise. Dracula, Frankenstein's monster. Then we have ice cream. So some things are negative. Obviously, running into a monster, you have to do something about that. Then you got your ice cream. Ask a bonus question about any character, item, or location. Do not move your mover. Play immediately. Donut, take an extra turn. Play now or keep until needed. Pizza, move anywhere on the board. French fries, select any player to reveal one of their cards to all other players. Play immediately. Liverwurst, when someone is shown a card, demand to see it too. Play now or keep until needed. French fries, we did that. Ice cream, we did that. Donut, we did that. Donut, take an extra turn, yep. Liverwurst. Chicken, play instead of answering a rumor. Hamburger, add 6 to your dice roll. Play now or keep until needed. Pizza, again, move anywhere on the board. Donut, chicken, donut, and pizza. So there you go. Those are your question cards. And again, one of the things I'm just going to show you here. So this is the box that it came in. So this I understand. This I understand. These I understand. These 4 I understand. What this has to do with this game here, I'm not quite sure. So again, this is how the game came when the kids got it as a gift. So the reality is that I don't particularly understand the packaging, but that's just me. I'm not quite sure what the point is of all this stuff here. Not sure. But anyway, that's a smallest of concerns I want to say, or complaints. But we just wanted to show you. It's kind of odd to me, but it is what it is. Anyway, everything you see here is everything that's included, and this concludes our unboxing of the board game Clue, the classic mystery game, Scooby-Doo 50th Anniversary Edition, ages 8+, 2 to 6 players, of course, brought to you by Hasbro. So as always, thank you so much for joining me for this unboxing video. It's truly appreciated. If you enjoyed the video, you could always give us a thumbs up and leave a comment below. You could also hit that subscribe button. This way you're kept up to date as to any time we release new content to the page. As always, thank you so much for joining us. Be safe, be well, enjoy the remainder of your day, and we'll catch you on the next unboxing video.